As always, Ted, kick us off. Who do you have as your winner of the weekend?
I'm going with OU baseball. Now, I know that the series is 1-1 with Mississippi State. I think that game starts at 3 o'clock today, the decider. But Friday and Saturday, I've got to give it up to the fans. Awesome, awesome environments. I went out to the game Friday night, packed house, awesome game. It was a pitcher's duel. We ended up losing that one, but came back Saturday, even better crowd, and got the win. A lot of offense in that one. Got a late home run in the bottom of the eighth to go ahead and
Willetts
pulled
is
it off.
such a stud.
Oh man, he's turned
Gosh.
into a big time power hitter for us. So we got the decider today, but the big conversation over the last couple of years has been how are we going to get people out to the baseball park? How are we going to fill L. Del Mitchell? I mean, we're going to the SEC. There's going to be these huge fan bases coming in, and I thought for the opening weekend, it fell in a weird spot. Typically out in left field in the berm, you got a bunch of the students heckling the opposing team. That was a little bit lighter than usual, which you understand because of spring break. But man, the stands were packed. It was a fun atmosphere. It was loud. It was entertaining. I'd say the first home SEC series has been a success. It'll be even better if they go and cap this thing off with the win over Mississippi State today, who's a good group, and it's been really competitive. But it's been fun to watch, and I'm proud of the people for showing up. Man, it feels like something that we have always thought that there's no way they're going to be able to get people out for baseball. Well, you got a good team, you got a bunch of big series in the SEC. People show up, and they've been out there, they've been loud, and it's been fun.
How do you think it feels if you're Witherspoon, you give up one earned run, you strike out 11, and you walk away with the loss? I mean,
It
he
was,
was Ted. I watched a bunch of the game on my
yeah,
phone. He was absolutely dealing, man.
he was, and he was giving it to him like whenever he'd strike someone out to end an inning. He was feeling very confident coming off the mound, which was awesome. It's great to see now. The pitcher Mississippi State had going was great too. I mean, I
Pico
was
Cone, first of all, what a name.
what a
What did he
name.
strike out? 10? Like those dudes.
And we were watching him, warm up and everything beforehand, and he's like 92 on the gun. Off speed was like 83. It's like, okay, we're going to be fine. But I don't know what that off speed pitch was. We could not find it. And whenever you're throwing darts at that 83 off speed, 92 looks really fast all of a sudden whenever he's changing it up and you're guessing and you don't know what's coming. I thought that was fun to watch. You come away from a game, what was the final 2-1, and
Yeah.
you could say boring. That game was not boring at all. It was fun to watch two top pitchers go at it.
I wish we would have won, but I think your overall point is spot on. It's gonna be a lot of fun now that OU's in the SEC in baseball. I mean, it's gonna be a
Yeah,
ton of fun.
it is. Now, and I think Malachi Witherspoon's going to be on the mound today as your Sunday starter. I mean, we've changed up that order a little bit, trying to find, the perfect matchup. Had a little bit of a interesting game yesterday. Both teams got into their bullpen a little bit. We'll see what happens today. Wind is blowing again, so we may have another big offensive day.
Wouldn't mind it.
Wouldn't mind it.
Who do you have as your loser of the weekend?
Someone's got to explain this to me. I We have seen teams in the past that have behavior issues that, things pop up. It's a tough balance. You have a lot of success, you have a lot of guys on the team. Sometimes, you lose control of the program a little bit, and I'm not suggesting that Kirby Smart has lost control of the program, but I mean, we go back to Soul Mission and talking about the culture you create. What in the hell is happening there with all of the reckless driving stuff? I mean, it's not once, it's not twice. We're talking like 10 times now. And it's even been so bad. Obviously, they had the horrible situation after they won the championship where, they've lost lives. It continues to happen, Gabe. Explain it to me.
I I have no explanation. And I know a lot of people are making the joke like the guy's name is Nitro. What do you expect?
Right.
I expect these young men that, let's remember, they're making a lot of money now. I don't think any scholarship player at Georgia is there for free. Like, these guys got to make better choices. Especially when you're at the place that has, like, this has been the issue, and Kirby Smart has talked about it over and over and over again. I just make good choices, guys.
It's wild.
There's big money on the line now. Make good choices. Don't be an idiot.
You can accuse Kirby Smart of a lot of things. Being stupid is not one of them. I refuse to believe that this hasn't been an issue in-house. That I know he has brought this up. I know he has talked about how serious it is. He's probably had a bunch of people in to address the team about it, and it continues to happen. I don't know. I've heard people suggest that that's kind of, I don't know, the street racing is kind of a culture thing in Atlanta. They got to find a way to separate themselves from that quickly. And I don't know how they do it. I mean, the punishment's going to have to be severe to break the cycle. And you mentioned it, Tuggle's the wide receiver, Nitro Tuggle, and then easily offensive lineman ran into an apartment complex late at night. And a lot of these are happening really late at night, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. You hate getting those calls. Number one, for the safety of your players, but number two, what this mess creates on the outside and what the vision of the program is. And you cannot say that it doesn't affect you. Parents of recruits see this stuff. They don't want their kids out racing at 3 a.m., right? If you could pick, would you rather have your kid out street racing at 3 a.m. or taking a trip to help the community in Brazil and the Soul Mission? What would you pick as a parent? I mean, that's why I continue to say that is a big factor, and it's going to help us moving forward. But for Georgia, I don't know what they're going to do. It's become a running joke. You don't want to be a team that's a running joke.
It somehow has become maybe the main talking point about Georgia football
for a while now,
which is crazy because Kirby Smart has built that into the best program in college football, arguably.
I would say that it is, I mean, maybe it's not a total consensus, but most people in college football, even though they haven't won a championship in, I don't know what, 3 years now, pretty much everyone across the board would say that Georgia's the best program in college football, right? Haven't won the championship the last couple of years, but best program out there. And it's not once, it's not twice. You could say that it's just a weird cluster of events, but we're talking like 10 arrests or something up to this point. You've got a serious issue going on, and they're going to have to clean it up.
And this continues to happen after you had a player die.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. We're not talking about just traffic violations here. You brought the point up. I mean, it's legit.
I don't know. I assume Kirby Smart and his staff and the people at Georgia are doing everything they can to discourage their players from doing this. It's this simple for me. If I was Kirby Smart, I tell my guys, if you get arrested for reckless driving or racing or something like that, you are kicked off this football team. Do I make myself perfectly clear? There will be no discussion. There'll be no, hey,
Done.
it's that black and white. If you do that, if you're going 50 miles an hour over the speed limit, doing something stupid, weaving in and out of traffic, you're kicked off the team. Go play somewhere else. I feel like at
I'd
this point
probably, yeah,
he's got to do that. I don't know.
I think you're right. I think you have to. And
Maybe he's already doing that. I know that both of those guys are what suspended indefinitely or whatever phrase they want to use, but
probably is, I would take it a step further. I'd say if you're in the car, I mean, it's done. No more of it. We can't have it continue. You do it, you're gone. No questions asked. Often we're going to give everyone the benefit of the doubt, whatever. No more. I'm telling you right now, you do not get the benefit of the doubt. If you do it, you're gone. You have to stop it. And that's the only way you're going to. And if that threat of being kicked off the team, if you get that arrest or whatever that ticket, whatever it is, and if you extend it to if you're even in the car, if that doesn't fix it, well, you're thinning the herd of people that you don't want on your football team, right? At some point.
it's an intelligence test.
Exactly. And if
And
you can't pass that one, it's pretty telling.
if I was Kirby Smart, I'm not overly familiar with how Georgia's collective is operating. I'm sure they've got a great operation over there, but whatever this revenue share piece, like in those contracts or agreements, whatever you want to call them, I write it in all of them. If and you can, this is not the only offense that you would kick someone off the football team for, but like I'm going to make sure that if you do something stupid behind the wheel of a car, not only are you getting kicked off the team, you're not getting your money either. It's in the contract. It's in the agreement, whatever you want to call it. Like you just have to do that at this point if you're Kirby Smart. This is ridiculous, man. I
It's
mean,
ridiculous. I, it's ridiculous. And the crazy thing that you mentioned is we're not just talking about violations. You've already had someone die, right? It should be, I don't know, it should be very straightforward. Like you said, it's an intelligence test at this point,
it
and they're failing miserably.
it also I think at this point, like it can be an indictment on Kirby Smart. It's an indictment on the guys in that locker room, the leaders in that locker room, that this has happened over and over and over again. The best teams, you know how it is. You police yourself. And
Yep.
guys, you got to do whatever you got to do to make sure that guys don't do this stuff and continue because they are continuing to embarrass the program as a whole.
If you're a football player at Georgia and you've got some sports cars, some fast, who is writing the insurance on these cars? Can you imagine, like, oh, hey, yeah, oh, you're a player at Georgia and you've got a 500 horsepower car. I'm going to pass that off to the next person.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and direct you to my colleague and maybe they can help you out. Yeah, I don't know, but it's insane that it continues to happen.
Wow.
All right, let's
I
get to
just,
my
I, ultimately, I, we're talking about Georgia, we're talking about the football aspect of it, but the last thing anyone wants is another situation like they already had, right? I mean,
yeah,
it's crazy.
that's the nightmare scenario and they've already lived through it.
I know.
And somehow this stuff continues to happen. It's wild.
Wow.
And you don't really hear about any of this type of stuff, like this reckless driving, like racing. And maybe it just doesn't get the coverage that Georgia's players get, but you don't really hear about it anywhere else.
Yeah, and I'm not naive enough to think that
It's happening, of course. I'm sure
it's
it's
happening,
happening,
but
but
when it becomes that big of an issue, I don't know. It's just I don't have any. I've got more. We could sit here and ask questions all day long. It's just it's one of the stranger things that I've seen in college football. We've all seen programs that really get it rolling and the problems start to emerge, but they're I don't ever remember anywhere else where we've seen something for years continue to be the same exact problem over and over.
Let's get to my winner and loser. But first,
We got some Brunt workwear boots, and they're awesome. Very comfortable. Feel like they're going to last forever. The Marin boot, it checks every box. Lightweight, waterproof, slip and oil resistant, heat resistant, electrical hazard rated, and are as comfortable as sneakers. I love them. And Brunt isn't just about work boots. They offer a full range of high performance gear built for tough jobs. From heavy duty work pants to weather resistant jackets, Brunt designs durable, reliable workwear to keep you protected and productive in any condition. Brunt didn't just make a durable work boot, they reinvented comfort for the hardest workers out there. And for a limited time, our listeners get $10 off Brunt by using code OKBreakdown at checkout. Just head to bruntworkwear.com, use code OKBreakdown, and you're all set. And even better, Brunt lets you try all their products on the job risk-free. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them our show sent you. So head to bruntworkwear.com, use code OKBreakdown.
and we are brought to you by Prize Picks. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code OKBreakdown to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. Make your picks in less than 60 seconds and turn your sports opinions into real money all season long on Prize Picks. You just pick more or less on at least two players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. What a better time to get on Prize Picks. I mean, you got everything going on right now. So just turn that hoops knowledge into some real money on Prize Picks. And Prize Picks puts its members first. It puts its members first. All withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. When your picks hit, you can get your money in as quick as 15 minutes. And they've got all these different ways they can pay you now. It's great. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code OKBreakdown to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. My winner of the weekend, John Calipari. My goodness.
Woo.
Let's rewind. Was not the smoothest regular season for him in year one at Arkansas. Remember, we were all talking about them starting 0-5 in SEC play. And no one cares about that right now. Beat Kansas in the first round. And I know Kansas isn't what we're used to seeing from the Jayhawks this season. I know that. But you beat Kansas in the first round, and then you beat St. John's in the second round to advance to the Sweet 16. And for Calipari, that means you beat Bill Self and Rick Pitino.
Just checking off the big names.
I mean, Ted, what a weekend for John Calipari and the Hogs. That was a tough road to the Sweet 16, and they look really good, man. They are playing their best basketball at the right time.
Yeah, they are. It's been pretty awesome for them, and it's wild how if you make the tournament, the narrative can change really quickly, right? I know Arkansas fans I think a lot of them were hesitant in the beginning, and then the way the conference play started off, there was some big frustration there. A lot of people upset about it, but continued to get better and better. And Sweet 16, I mean, house money from this point. I mean, maybe house money just making the tournament, but Sweet 16 in your first year, knocking off Bill Self and Pitino, that's pretty impressive.
Arkansas went 8-10 in conference play. I think all the other SEC teams that made the NCAA tournament with the losing conference record, I think they've all lost, except for Arkansas. That could be wrong. It sounds right though. So I'm going with it.
He's probably right.
It has not
Probably
been a
right.
great run for the SEC in the tournament,
No, let's
but
see. Currently, you've got what? Auburn is in the Sweet 16. Florida
Florida,
and UConn are tied right now with 2 minutes left in the second half, and then Arkansas has made it. Tennessee has made it. Yeah, I mean it hasn't been great, but they still got a chance to fill up the Elite Eight at least.
speaking of not great, did you watch any of that Arkansas St. John's game?
I did.
What a beautifully painful college basketball game to watch. If if you like missed shots, that was the game for you. I mean, both teams just shot it horribly.
And it was wild because a lot of people, St. John's obviously had a lot of fanfare coming in, but one of the talking points around their team is, when you look at the statistics and the metrics, they're way better than they should be considering some of their shortcomings. And I think that reared its ugly head against Arkansas.
I think all of like the guys that are really dialed into college basketball that I follow on Twitter coming into the tournament, will just say, "Hey, if St. John's makes shots, they're going to make a serious run, but they can't shoot." That was something that kept coming up over and over again. And what were they? 2 of 22 from three against Arkansas, but Arkansas was like 2 of 19. It was, if you like watching the ball go in the basket, it was not a good game, but it was a game where the scoring drought graphic, it made a lot of appearances.
Yes. Yes, it did. That was it was wild. There, like I said earlier, there's been some ugly, low-scoring games, but like you said, like that coming in with college basketball, that's part of the appeal, I think.
Yeah. You kind of know what you're signing up for, but I Arkansas had two freshmen in Carter Knox and Billy Richmond. They kept calling him Billy the Kid. Pretty awesome. But those guys stepped up. And then really the biggest talking point from that game was RJ Lewis is the Big East player of the year. He's St. John's best player. And he didn't play like the last 4 or 5 minutes of that game.
Yeah.
Pitino benched him,
Yeah, that was
which I know he was shooting the ball really poorly. But it almost makes you wonder. And Pitino kind of danced around the questions in the postgame presser. It kind of makes you wonder if Lewis was like going rogue or something. I don't know. But that, even if a guy's shooting really poorly, your best player's on the floor when your season's on the line in a close basketball game. So that was very, very strange.
it was strange. Who am I to question? I have no idea, but a that was an interesting turn of events there late. Arkansas they're a 5.5 point dog against Tech. What do you think?
I I have no idea.
Yeah.
I have no these neutral site games, like it's incredibly hard to predict. If they were playing them in Lubbock, give me Tech. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
Yeah.
that's one of the best atmospheres in college basketball. These neutral site games where it feels like these teams always really struggle to shoot with these different backdrops. I have no idea.
Yeah. I don't know.
I
Um,
that is an ultimate stay away for me.
yeah, you got what I think. Who is it? Colorado State and Maryland play, and then Florida and UConn. Florida's jumped ahead with 43 seconds, 70-64. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, if you beat Tech, you still got a chance to advance after that. So we'll see. I mean, it's credit them. It's been fun. I think that's one of the cool things is watching the roller coaster ride for teams. I mean, we were on it ourselves.
Yeah.
Amazing, undefeated through non-conference play, and then we're horrible. There's no way we make the tournament. Oh, we're gonna make the. I mean, it's what makes college basketball fun. Yeah, you get in the
Calipari,
tournament. All you need is an opportunity, and who knows what happens.
John Calipari is the second coach to take four teams to the Sweet 16. Lon
Pretty.
Kruger is the other one.
I was about to say. I mean, that's pretty good.
It's quite the stat. All right, my loser of the weekend. And this is undoubtedly a first in the history of the podcast for me.
Hmm.
Gable Steveson is my loser of the weekend.
Yeah.
I have never brought up wrestling on this podcast. But, buddy, let me tell you, I was locked into that heavyweight match for the NCAA title. The finish of that, what Wyatt Hendrickson from Oklahoma State pulled off in the last, 30 seconds of the heavyweight match for the NCAA championship was electric. If you have not seen it, finish this podcast and then go watch it. It is, and remember, Stevenson, when did he win the gold medal? That was 2020.
Yep.
He was going for his third national title. I usually base in a sport I don't know a ton about. I usually base what my reaction should be based on what the announcer's reaction should be, or what the announcer's reaction is, like in a big moment. And that announcing crew could not have made this feel like a bigger deal than they did. They were absolutely shocked. It was an amazing call and just an amazing moment in that heavyweight match. Dude, I was losing it because the announcing team was losing it so much. I was trying to understand how big of an upset, like what a big of a moment it was in that particular sport, and it felt like I was witnessing history by the way that everyone reacted.
How about, well, I mean, it's a big deal whenever the guy you're going against, his mom named him after Dan Gable. His name is Gable Dan Stevenson. So it was predetermined that this is where he was going to be in life. So yeah, that awesome, impressive, really cool to see guys, pull off big time wins like that. They're pretty crazy.
Down 4-2, gets the 3-point takedown in the last 30 seconds. I mean, I think he got, what was there, 20 seconds left. And one of the announcers, he said, "This is the craziest moment in NCAA history."
It's like stopping the tush push from Philadelphia on the goal line, right? Is basically what they did or what he did.
And then Wyatt Hendrickson had an all-time celebration. Like he soaks the moment in a little bit, but and no matter what your politics are, you win a national championship in wrestling, you drape yourself in an American flag, and you walk immediately up to the president and give him a stiff handshake. That's a pretty awesome celebration. Like, you
I
know what I
always
mean?
like whenever the guys they go over, they hug their coach, and then they do a nice little slam takedown on their coach onto the mat. Should have pulled that one off right there. That would have been awesome.
It was, if you have not seen it, go watch it. I cannot. I don't know a ton about wrestling. I don't watch a ton of wrestling. I like watching the national championships because it just you can feel the energy through the TV. And this was an all-time moment in the sport. At least that's how it was presented. And I was just it got the blood pressure up. I was fired up. Even though it was an Oklahoma State guy. It is what it is. But I felt like I witnessed wrestling history.
Yeah, I'm the same. Don't know a whole lot about wrestling, but I know enough to know whenever you're wrestling a guy whose name is Gable Dan, you're the underdog. Okay. I know that much.
Yeah, Stevenson had won like 70 matches in a row or something. And I know he did. Remember, he tried to make the NFL. I think he tried to do some of the WWE or what's the other one, like NXT.
Yeah.
One of
I
those.
think
He
his
tried to
brother
do.
did it too.
Yeah. So, but congrats, Wyatt Hendrickson. That was awesome.
Very cool. Very cool moment. That's great.